Good morning and welcome to the NCBI Minute. An updated PubMed is on its way. Today I'm here with Kathy Canese and Jessica Chan from the PubMed team. My name is Marie Collins and I'll be doing the talking, but Jessica will be doing the typing in the questions pod. If we don't get to your questions, we've got a lot of people on the line. If we don't get to questions, you can always reach out to us and send feedback after the webinar. Today, I want to talk about the new PubMed. I'm going to start with the roadmap or timeline because that seems to be the #1 question that we get from folks. I'll talk about the goals, the Agile Development model, sort of why we built PubMed and a new PubMed and how we've built a new PubMed. I'll talk about the features that have already been released in PubMed Labs, the features that are still to come, the responsive design of the new PubMed, and then I have a couple of slides about communication and planning for the transition to the new PubMed. I'm starting with the mission statement or just overarching goal for the new PubMed. We're transforming PubMed into a modern hub with a fast, reliable, and intuitive search that connects people to the world's leading sources of biomedical information. And when you read this statement, I think every time I read this statement, I think this new PubMed really is in line with the goals of NIH, the goals of the NLM strategic plan for sure, and it sort of captures the world that we all work in every day here at NCBI. This is pretty much what we do. The roadmap, if you are not familiar with the new PubMed, this will be completely new to you. If you have seen a previous presentation or read a previous TV article about the new PubMed, this will be a shift for you. The plan as it stands right now, which I think is a pretty solid plan, is to have PubMed Labs, which is running right now. You can see in the yellow on that top bar, PubMed Labs is up and running, but it is not the current production PubMed. January of 2020, we plan to make PubMed Labs the default production PubMed. So arriving at PubMed early next year, you'll arrive at the new PubMed. Current production PubMed at that time will remain archived and available for several months. I'll talk briefly about the goals for the new PubMed. Again, people who've seen other presentations, this might be a little repetitive, but I also am hoping to reach people who just weren't aware at all that we were going to a new PubMed. We're shifting PubMed to a modern cloud architecture, focusing on a high-quality search. The new PubMed will be fast and reliable, at least as fast and reliable as current production PubMed. It will deliver a modern experience. And our overarching goal for this development is that we build a system that is beloved. People love current PubMed. We really hope they're going to love new PubMed when it launches. We've built this in an Agile development environment. This means that we've released a minimum viable product with enough features for early users, and at the same time, we established an environment to capture feedback for future development. We've released new features frequently, and we pay continuous attention to technical excellence and good design. So who did we talk to in building this new PubMed? We talked to clinicians, researchers, professors, librarians, journalists, grant writers, biocurators, health advocates, and PubMed team members. Our research, our usability testing, our interviews have been exhaustive, and they have been ongoing. In an Agile environment, you can continue to do this usability testing throughout the life cycle of the project. Just 2 weeks ago, we had some usability experts at the Clinical Center at NIH showing folks the PubMed Labs on the mobile device and testing the usability there and getting feedback that will further inform our development. So this is a huge endeavor. It's a huge project. It's a huge shift from the current production PubMed, moving it to the cloud. It's not just an interface refresh. However, what our users will see is the interface refresh. So I'm starting here, and the bulk of my presentation will actually be on the features of this new PubMed. I'm going to start with what you'll see in this new interface when you're in PubMed Labs if you're looking at a single citation, and then I'll sort of go back to you've run a search and you've gotten your results and all the things you can do with a full result set. So I've got the URL here if you'd like to open a web browser and play along. You can look at labs either for the first time or again if you've been there before. I'm going to start, if you were to run a search in PubMed Labs and look at a single citation, I'll show you some of the things that you'll see there. So here I'm looking at an abstract in PubMed Labs. You can see that we've added this navigation from within a single result, so you can go from one result to the next without going back to your full results list. And if you hover over that previous or next button, you'll see a little bit of details for the citation that either comes before or after this one. Also, when you're looking at a single abstract, you'll see that we have the full text links. You have publisher links, the PMC link if the article is available in PMC, and now we've added the library Linkout using outside tool, and you can see up to 5 library icons. If you're affiliated with a hospital as well as a university, for example, you can display the icons for all of the institutions you're affiliated with and take advantage of all of those subscriptions. We have a new Cite button that I'll show you a little bit later. We've added the favorites button. You can share to Twitter, Facebook, or grab a permalink. And we have page navigation. You can use the navigation menu to jump right down to similar articles or references or the Linkout resources, or you can just scroll through this abstract page to see the rest of the information that's below the abstract. Now, back to our results page. There's a lot going on here. I'm hoping today what you'll see of PubMed Labs will assure you that it is feature rich, and we'll go through each of these features, most of these features in a little bit more detail. So we have the results by year graph. You can click on the arrows to expand it. You can use the little circles there on the bottom to narrow or broaden your year range. We have the save, email, and more actions menus. We have a best match sort order by default, but you can easily toggle to most recent. You can change your view from the summary view that you see in front of you on this screen to the full abstract view. You can see here that we've added these snippets with highlights so that you can scroll through your results and see why this result was returned. Get a little bit more information before you go into the full abstract. We have filters. Very recently, we've added the ability to customize this filters menu, and I'll talk about that in a minute. You can create an alert. You can go to advanced search, and under each item, as well as when you're looking at a single abstract, you can use that Cite feature or share the article. I'm going to start with the Cite feature because it's very exciting and new and something we've never had in PubMed before. You can grab the citation for an abstract with that Cite button. The text is already highlighted. You can hit Control-C, you can click on the copy button. You can download that citation in an RIS file, and the formats available are AMA, MLA, APA, and the NLM format. You can share by clicking on that link. Again, it's the Twitter, Facebook, or grabbing the permalink. You can save and email your results as you do today. I've selected 2 citations. I can click on either save or email. The options for saving to file would be to save all the results on the page, all the results of your search, or the selected items. And the formats available there are summary, RIS, PMID list, or abstract. The email options, you can email all the results on the page or selected items in either the summary or abstract, either text or not just the text format, but the rich text. There's a more actions menu, and this is where you'll find those send to features. You can send your items either to the clipboard or to a collection. The clipboard allows you to add up to 500 citations to a temporary clipboard, and it pops up, I think, the messages in PubMed Labs. The way that they appear on the screen, you don't tend to overlook them as much as you might in production PubMed. So I sort of like this. When you add the 2 items to the clipboard, you see a message there, and also where the red arrow is, you'll see now that clipboard link appears also with your advanced search and create alert. So it's really easy to remember that you have a clipboard and to navigate to your clipboard and see what you've been collecting there. Collections, you can add up to 1,000 citations in a collection in your My NCBI account. And I personally prefer collections because they're persistent, and this will be my first plug for, if you don't already have one, register for my NCBI account. Filters, as I said, we have default filters on the left sidebar menu. I think the filters are a little bit more intuitive in PubMed Labs, where you can tell whether they're selected or not selected because they have that empty checkbox. Right now I don't have any filters selected. I can add more filters to this menu by clicking on the Additional Filters button. A pop-up will appear, and I can select from the various categories that you see here. So in this case, I've gone to the age category, selected 2 more filters, and when I click on Apply, those filters will now appear in my Filters menu, and I can check them to select them or deselect them as I need to when I'm searching. Speaking of filters, and speaking of being agile, my NCBI custom filters were rolled into production PubMed Labs yesterday. So this slide I added to the slide deck yesterday as well. So now if you're logged into your My NCBI account and you've set up custom filters, you'll see them appear there above the results by year graph. We sort of felt that if you have these filters, you want to be able to access them. So there they are for you. Advanced search and history is available. This is a feature that's not used by everyone, but loved by the folks who do use it. It allows you to search specific fields. You can show an index if you have a search term in here and you want to click on Show Index. It'll let you see all of the results you would get if you were to execute that search. It allows you to build complex searches, and it's a powerful tool for advanced users. The search history, which appears under the advanced search at the bottom half of that screen, allows you to view and download your search history. You can compare the results of various searches. It's sort of a one-stop where you can see a list of all the searches you've done. You can combine previous searches, view search details, and download your search history. So here you can see that I've run 3 searches, and then the 4th search was that combination of the previous searches. And then I can take that search, number 4, and add it to a subheading and really have a good way of tracking what I've done and what my results have been from each of these searches. Now, the search details you'll find here on the advanced search page. And if you click on that caret near any one of the searches, you'll see that that expands into your search details that you're used to seeing. And this will have the search translation for you. You can see that these are the details of my 5th search, which was the most complicated. And it did, you know, it keeps everything that I've sort of rolled up into this search is presented here for you. You can create search alerts. This is very similar to the functionality that we have now. You can run a search and then choose to create an alert. You get to name your search. You can receive email updates, specify the frequency, specify the format of your email, and how many items you'd like to see in the email message. I'm going to talk for a minute about the fact that the new PubMed Labs is a truly responsive site. This means that the features you see on the desktop will be also available on your mobile device. Now, this development, things have to be optimized for a mobile device. You want to make sure that when you build your responsive design and when you think about how it's going to act on a mobile device, you don't want it to override any native phone features that are really handy or make it more cumbersome than it needs to be. So there's a lot of design that's gone into this responsive piece because there's a lot of information on some of these PubMed screens. And so how to present that information on a mobile design is quite a challenge. So I just have listed here a few of the features that are available on mobile right now. You can log into your My NCBI account. Advanced search is actually available. We have filters and the timeline. You can change your sort order. That Cite button is there. Share is there. You'll see Publisher and PubMed Central icons. And for the first time, we have those Linkout library icons so that if you're affiliated with an institution, you can have that icon on every citation and take advantage of the subscriptions through your institution. Features that are still to come would be the increased integration with My NCBI. There were actually more items in this little section until yesterday when the favorites button appeared and the custom filters appeared. Now, really the main push would be that send to my bibliography so that you can send citations directly to your My NCBI bibliography. One of the questions that we hear a lot is, will we have a single citation matcher? For those of you who use single citation matcher, we still prefer that you try our title sensor and our known item sensor in PubMed. We think a lot of people are finding that they can have a lot of success if you can grab the first 6 or 7 words of the title of an article and put it in the search box. You're likely to get that hit in the PubMed database. However, these tools, the search from the mesh database, where you're able to actually go into mesh and build your search and have it run in PubMed. Same with the NLM catalog, the clinical queries tool, that single citation matcher. If you have a little bit of the citation information and you prefer to use the single citation matcher form, and the batch citation matcher, these will all be integrated with PubMed Labs when it becomes default PubMed. So what will happen is whatever day it is that you go to PubMed and you're presented with this new PubMed interface, that's the same day that when you search for mesh, your search will be run and your results will be returned in PubMed Labs. So people are looking for these things. They'll be linked off of the new PubMed homepage, and that allows me to segue into the next bullet, which is the updated PubMed homepage that we're working on. When this is rolled out, or sometime maybe even prior to the rollout next year, there'll be an updated PubMed homepage, and I think seeing that homepage, seeing the tools that you're used to seeing on that homepage, I think will make people happy. And also we're working on a new PubMed API. As I said, although you see really what looks like a refreshed interface, this has been a rebuild from the ground up. It's in a new environment and we need to build a new API to support it. Regarding the communication and planning, in September, the new PubMed will be formally announced by NLM. And that means that PubMed Labs will have more words on it to say this is going to become the new PubMed. Production PubMed, I anticipate, will have a banner that says this will be replaced by the new PubMed, and will encourage people to start moving over to the new PubMed, trying it out and giving us more feedback. And then in January of 2020, we anticipate that the new PubMed will be the default. After it becomes the default, both current and new PubMed will run in parallel for several months. So there is not going to be a day when you are presented with a new PubMed and you can't get back to the old PubMed. Both systems will be there for several months, and then at some point, with warning, current production PubMed will be sunset. If you'd like to keep up with what's happening with this project, you can watch for updates on PubMed Labs in the NLM Technical Bulletin, the NCBI Insights blog, and on the PubMed Labs homepage, if you scroll down, we actually have a released features list. You can scroll down on the homepage and see what's happened on a given week, month, day. The National Network of Libraries of Medicine is offering a class in September. Right now, we've scheduled 4 sessions. They have 4 sessions scheduled that you'll see if you follow this link. If those sessions fill, we'll add more, or we'll increase the attendance there. Somehow we'll accommodate everyone who is an advanced user of PubMed and is concerned about things like changes in syntax. I know one thing we've done that is integrate more British to English mappings, more synonymy, more stemming, for example, the more consistent mapping of singular to plural and that kind of thing. And so those are really the details that we'd go into in a session like that a little bit later on. So that's what I had scheduled for today. I can hear that Jessica's been typing the whole time I was talking, so I think we've had questions, and I can see if there's anything more that I can answer for you in the next few minutes.
Will the name lab be dropped from the names?
The question was, will the name labs be dropped? Yes, it absolutely will. This will just be PubMed. It won't even be new PubMed. It'll just be PubMed. So there have been some questions about integration of other systems with PubMed. So first I'll talk about the mesh and NLM catalog again, where you can run a search in those databases and it goes to PubMed and you see your results. it will just be redirected to the new PubMed like the rest of the world is. So that should be pretty seamless. You'll be using the tool that you're used to, whether it's single citation matcher or a mesh database. And then when you hit search, you will go to the new PubMed where you'll see your results. There was another part of the question. Oh, the My NCBI. I've had a lot of people ask me if they're going to lose their saved searches. Again, no, that is just redirecting to the new PubMed. Your My NCBI is not going anywhere. It's not being modified. It's not being moved. It's just going to be integrated with the new database. Yeah. So one thing I didn't mention regarding labs, which I really was remiss in doing, if you saw during the slides, and I'll go back to one real quickly, on the bottom of every page in labs, there's a feedback button, and it actually floats with you. So if you scroll down, that feedback button will stay there where you can see it. I don't know if you see it now in the bottom corner of my screen there. When you click on feedback to send us your questions about labs, those actually go to the people in this room. So it's Kathy Canese and Jessica Chan and myself will get those questions, and we're answering those. Regarding the Linkout transition, the same thing is if you write to the help desk with a Linkout question, you'll get response directly from that team. We are transitioning from the Linkout where we've kept libraries holdings to the outside tool only. That transition is underway. We've transitioned hundreds of libraries at this point, have moved over to having their link resolver and using an outside tool service. And we're still planning to transition at the end of the calendar year where the Linkout local holdings will not be available anymore. So at that point, we encourage everyone to have switched over to an outside tool link resolver.
With mesh database.
So, all right, I'm going to try this, but no promises.
I can put a link in chat too.
Yeah. If you're in labs, oh, I guess I should do, yeah, I can't cheat and just use the canned. If I find a mesh indexed record, and I'm looking at it and I scroll down, this is kind of nice because I wanted to show you the similar articles. You can see the publication types, mesh terms. If you had noticed, if you've been a long-term user of labs, you would notice that these mesh terms used to appear almost like a pill shape. It was that pill button. And now we've actually updated that. So if you click on this caret, you have the same actions that were available in production PubMed. You can search for that term in PubMed, you can search for the term in mesh, or you can add it to your search. So that functionality has been improved just this week. I think this went live as well.
File formats and exporting to Citation Manager.
If we run my search again, if you are saving to a file and you choose that RIS format that's available, that's very similar to the Medline format that you see in PubMed today, except it's an industry standard. So it actually improves the integration with those Citation Manager programs because we're using an industry standard for that sort of format where you have the field tag and then the data.
Do you know when the recording will be available?
The person who's responsible for that is not in the room and I don't want to speak for him. A couple of days next week. It's already Wednesday, so maybe early next week. The recording will be available. And I believe if you're registered for the webinar, you get that recording link sent to you.
Can you please repeat about title search or known item search that you recommended instead of single citation matcher?
So there's a title sensor in PubMed, citation matcher in PubMed. So if I were to grab, I've had people say, well, I use single citation matcher because I need to find a bunch, 60 citations, and I put the title in single citation matcher. Oh, so I was going to start with just a title. So if I put a title in there, you can see here that right at the top of my results, one article found by citation matching. And then the other thing you can also do is, and that title matcher works pretty well if you have most of the title, more than 6 or 7 words. The other thing you can do is, sort of this Smith Science 2000. Sorry. So I've got an author name, I've got a journal, I've got a year. And so it's pretty smart about figuring out with that citation matcher that I'm looking for articles by the author Smith in Science in the year 2000. So it's 11:30. That went by quickly. Thank you all for coming. There's an encore presentation of this if you have colleagues who missed it and don't want to listen to a recording. We're going to do this again on August 28th because the registration was full for this one. So if you want to let people know about that. And I appreciate everyone being here today. If you have any feedback for us, go ahead and use that feedback link and look for the recording to this webinar next week.